Pen Made Mightier without wood.
Hey everybody, Gideon Ray here again. We're talking more about Steven Universe this week. Last week we talked about the physical properties of gems. Now we're going to talk about the metaphysical properties of gems. What do I mean by that? Well, there's a whole spirituality dedicated to gemstones, in that they bind themselves to chakras, which are points on our body that harness and release energies in positive or negative ways. The thought behind that being that these gems can bind themselves to those chakra points and produce a non-traditional form of healing and energy release to help the health of the user without all those needs for scary pills and chemicals. Man, it's real hippy-dippy stuff, but there's a lot of interesting stuff we can learn about Steven Universe by studying that. And who knows, I've never held a ruby to my throat chakra for 2 hours. I don't know, maybe it does help energy, who's to say? So we're just going to go down the list one at a time and look at some of the metaphysical qualities of these gems and how it creates the characters that we love so much on this show. And we're going to start with Garnet. Garnets supposedly offer a protection from evil and a protection from wounds, lending itself very heavily to Garnet's defender personality, to her mother bear status, to protect her cubs and to protect the earth, and she's very defenderish, and I think that lines up quite well. Beyond that, they encourage creativity, confidence, and provide inspiration, and I think that works too. Garnet is one of the gemstones who influences Steven's creative side the most, constantly telling him to stretch himself and to try new things and to go out there and just have fun. I think that fits her character perfectly. I would say that there is no way that Rebecca Sugar didn't delve into these metaphysical aspects when dreaming these characters up. And if you wanted to, you could even look into these for future characters when they're announced, like I did with Sardonyx, to get a sort of mindset on what the character could be. Pearls are supposedly calm and centering, the perfect gemstone for any mother to be. I think this would make a lot of sense, especially if she stayed by Rose while she was carrying Steven and during his birth, which would have also been the end of Rose's life. When I think about that too much, I get kind of sad. Let's move on. Pearls also embody faith, charity, and integrity, which describes Pearl pretty well most of the time when she's not being a salty Pearl. And beyond that, they exemplify a very deep personal love, which Pearl definitely displays for Rose Quartz and for Steven.
That's not my baby!
In fact, I wouldn't say there's any more loving gem on the modern show, with the exception of maybe Ruby and Sapphire. Amethysts are supposed to embody prosperity and abundance, but not the most abundance. I think that's exemplified in Amethyst's hoarding nature, how she'll hang on to anything for her trash pile. Beyond that, they're supposed to bring out your flexibility and cooperative nature, and I think Amethyst does that for her teammates. It's even exemplified in her whip being the literal most flexible weapon that we see on the team. Amethysts are also supposed to be boons of inner strength, and that's definitely shown in her character. Even though she doubts herself sometimes, she always comes back stronger than she did before, and that's why everybody loves her so much. And I think we could all learn a lot from Amethyst, at least in the ability to not take ourselves so seriously and to take everyone around us who criticizes us even less seriously. It's said that Amethyst can be gentle as a petal or wild as a storm, and that's 100% Amethyst's character. They're also supposed to help with psychic information, offering a deep connection to sleep and lucid dreaming. And she's one of the only gems who actually knows how to dream next to Steven. Because when they discuss this in Slumber Party, Garnet just sort of planks on the ground and that's sleep. And Pearl has no idea what sleeping and dreaming really means until she's taught. Amethyst does it regularly. Lapis Lazuli embodies truthfulness and inner power. There's a strong spiritual connection with Lapis Lazuli. She embodies mental clarity and the ability to overcome abuse, trauma, and depression. And I think that that's clear in her character arc, that she overcomes so much, being trapped, being misused, and even then being abused by Jasper when she's forced to form Malachite. She asserts herself and takes control of her situation, overcoming all of the trauma of her past. And even though she's still working through it, I've got faith that this show is going to show that she can make it. Dreams are a core focus of Lapis Lazuli, and we see that exceptionally in Chili Tea. Because Steven can contact her through dreams. Even when she's fused at the bottom of the ocean somewhere, she's still connected. There's no way that wasn't a part of the creation process. Things don't just randomly happen that way. The next few buck the trope a little bit, and it's going to sound strange. Go with me on it. Jasper, the hardened warrior of Homeworld, the massive beat stick that would like nothing more than to fight Rose Quartz and pretty much anything else that it can get its hands on. So, what does her gem represent? Well, Jaspers are gems of nurturing, protection, relaxation, calmness, gentleness. They're even supposed to provide a gentle protection to travelers and peace. Not exactly the Jasper we know, right? So, my theory here is that gems from Homeworld, villainous gems, have to embody the opposite. So what would the opposite of everything I just said be? No nurturing, no protection, no relaxation. That means that Jasper is there to put people on edge, out there to destroy instead of protect, and to force them to be what she wants instead of nurturing them into their own strength. That sounds more like Jasper to me. And instead of peace, we get war. If Homeworld gems, if evil gems represent the opposite of their, normal metaphysical properties, I think that makes perfect sense. And it's a great way to show that some gems are bad. Because honestly, all of the metaphysical properties of gemstones, there's no bad one. There's no one to avoid. So if you're going to create villains going diametrically opposed, that's the way to go. This holds true for Peridot as well. Compassion, friendliness, rebirth, renewal, that is not what Peridot is about. Peridot crushes her minions under feet. She is pretty much the least friendly gem in the entire show, and I've never seen her be compassionate. She is the exact opposite of what her metaphysical properties state that she is. Or perhaps she's just opposite to her enemies. It could be that we see some redemption in her. Maybe eventually she can become compassionate. It would be kind of cool to see her redeem herself that way. And again, flipping the script, excellent way of creating a villain. Rainbow Quartz, our favorite 80s dancing girl. She brings levity to the mood and provides hope and cheer. And I definitely think that's what she does there, because she's a part of Greg's music video. She really lightens up the stage and adds to the mood and the intensity. Granted, Pearl is a bit cruel afterwards, but hey, we all have our downfalls, and I love that about Pearl. We're going to talk more about that good writing later. Let's talk about our favorite micro twins, Ruby and Sapphire. Ruby, our favorite little hothead, the eternal flame! Rubies embody leadership and adventuring, protection of children, and a fiery passion that is always meant to be followed. If that's not Ruby, I don't know what is. Sapphires, on the other hand, embody creative expression and intuition. Sapphires are the gem of the third eye, and meditation with a sapphire is supposed to bring joy and inner beauty to things. And that's perfect for Sapphire. Sapphire's entire ability is future vision, the ability to see with eyes unclouded. To be able to see the future is the essence of the third eye. This is another reason I think Lion has to be bismuth, by the way, because bismuth's properties here in the metaphysical fit Lion exactly. Lion greets Stephen when he's all alone, when he's feeling most uncertain, and bismuth is absolutely all about that stuff. Bismuth is supposed to relieve isolation, both mentally and physically, and it's definitely what Lion does. Bismuth is said to help actualize wisdom, which would definitely work if bismuth is transferring wisdom from Rose Quartz unto Stephen. Beyond that, it's said to push change in the right direction, and every time Stephen needs a push, Lion is there to provide it. Be it if he is taking Stephen to go train in Rose's armory, or if he's just taking him where he needs to be, if it's getting him from Beach City out to Lapis Lazuli. Lion's help for the group always pushes them in the right direction, just like bismuth is supposed to. Likewise, bismuth is supposed to be connected to all that is. And bismuth's extra-dimensional space, his teleportation, his portals, connect him to all that is. Yeah, Lion's bismuth. If we're following the trend here, Lion's gotta be bismuth, right? 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 Opals are said to breed creativity, to encourage imagination and inspiration. But more than that, opals are said to overcome even the greatest of obstacles with ease. In Opal's first appearance in Giant Woman, that's exactly what Opal does. These things that they had struggled with, jumping over these massive chasms to get from platform to platform, stairs that go up endlessly. Opal slides down them with grace and elegance, tumbling over them like a feather on the wind, and lands, destroying her enemies in one fell stroke. Opposition eliminated. All because of Opal's ability to traverse obstacles at the speed that she needed to. Sugilite's a complicated case. Sugilite is supposed to embody one's inner strengths and protect against harsh realities. I think that makes sense, especially since it was mostly during their first formation, Amethyst trying to avoid the fact that she felt weak and trying to always feel worthwhile. But it sort of forced those harsh realities on Pearl when she realized that she needed to be stronger than she was feeling. Beyond that, Sugilite is known as a healing stone, but Sugilite just destroys everything. It seems strange to me that Sugilite would force this necessary growth on her teammate, when in fact Sugilite is supposed to be all about protecting herself from harsh realities, and there's certainly no healing going into Sugilite's capabilities. But it is worthy of note that when Sugilite is formed, it's out of a massive, misshapen dragon of darkness. It could be that the corruption level in fusing a kindergarten gem with Garnet simply got too high. It could be that they could be teetering on the edge of disaster, and her personality and how fast they lapsed into a destructive beast state seem to go with that notion. I don't know if it's for sure, but it's worth considering. And because of that, it could be that Sugilite embodies the opposite of what they're supposed to do, bringing harsh disasters to people around them and being a destructive stone instead of a healer. Who knows? Maybe as the characters grow and change, maybe we'll see Sugilite develop a new personality. In its newest incarnation, it was still just a beat stick, but who knows? Things could always change. Sardonyx embodies happiness and optimism. Obviously, with their levity and her showmanship, with her magic tricks and her craft, she's hellishly entertaining to watch. She's also supposed to enhance creativity and confidence, as well as boosting your self-confidence and worth, which is exactly what Pearl struggles with during the week of Sardonyx, Stephen Bomb 3. It's constant struggle to feel like she belongs, to feel powerful, and to feel strong, and how she grows addicted to feeling that way when she's fused with Garnet to make Sardonyx. Alexandrite balances the mind, body, and soul, being a personal bastion of power. Alexandrite's strong power is supposed to increase the power of winning with anybody who holds it, and that makes sense. Being the most powerful of the main gems that we've seen, it would make sense that Alexandrite holds that power. Here's another one. We're talking about the fusion of Jasper and Lapis Lazuli, Malachite. Malachite is another one of those flippy ones I was talking about earlier. Malachite embodies transformation and energy balance. Yeah, that's definitely not the case with them. They're about the most unbalanced you could be. They don't even have the right body parts. Beyond that, it's supposed to embody fortune, prosperity, abundance, a gentle heart, and pure love. None of those things are embodied by this character. In fact, they live a lonely, isolated, completely destitute state, and their fusion is held together by hatred and mistrust. Even said so by the characters of the show. It's another thing that emphasizes that point. I think that every homeworld gem and evil gems are going to embody the opposite of what their metaphysical properties are supposed to hold. Lastly, I couldn't forget about Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz is the gem of love, and not just one kind of love, every kind of love. Personal love, romantic love, love of your comrades, and they say in show that Rose loved everything. She saw the beauty in all forms of life, and she even tells Stephen, every time you love yourself, that's me loving you. If there is no more perfect comparison that Rose Quartz is 100% a product of her metaphysical capabilities. She even fought for the people that she loved, and I think there's no greater love than that. Rose Quartz is also said to transform any difficulty that the wielder has into instant cooperation, to form friendship, strong bonds, and camaraderie out of the most dire of circumstances, and that's what Rose did for her team. Join me next week when we'll look at a different aspect of Steven Universe, and I hope that these metaphysical properties help shed some light on the gems as you know them. Thanks for sticking with me through this video. Have a great day.